I already made this intro before, but I'm re-recording this entire AU because I lost the file. Yeah, I know, rookie mistake. I lost the file. I accidentally turned off my computer without saving, so I have to re-record this entire thing, but it's no big deal. Like I said back when I made this intro the first time around, this series is the first actually fanfic that I really got into based on the Black Clover series. I've never really been into fanfiction that much, and I always thought that they can be a little bit shallow and not that great storytelling wise. But honestly, this fanfiction is pretty good. The dialogue is really tight and feels like something that the characters would say to each other. And honestly, the story is kind of inspired and really original. Anyway, I don't want to hold you guys up for too long. This is probably about a minute and a half shorter than the original intro. Links in the description to the original creator. I have got full consent and everything like that. I'll see you when I see you. It was a normal day in Hage Village. It was peaceful and quiet until suddenly at the church 3 tiny adorable babies in baskets were at the door. The priest of the church had quite the look on his face, a bit surprised, but he took them in. He sat them in 3 baskets down on the table and stared at them for a bit. Are they siblings? He took a good look at the 3. Well, those 2 definitely are. Oh, Father noticed some letter on the black-haired baby's clothing. Juno. He seems rather calm, unlike these 2. The other 2 babies had been moving a lot in their blankets. Asta. He seems like he has a lot of spunk. Asta hit Father right on the nose. Maybe too much spunk. He looked over at the last child, Alexa. The baby girl was crying, trying to reach her brother. Well, you 3, welcome to Hage Village. Time skip, 15 years. Sister Lily, please marry me! The ash blonde boy yelled out to the entire village to hear. Sorry, Asta, but I'm everyone's sister. Not yet. One more! Asta was interrupted by Sister Lily flipping through her grimoire. Water creation magic. Holy fist of love. Sister was so shocked to see what she had done. Oh, such a tragedy. Asta, I'm sorry, it was a slip of hand, she said. The other children laughed at Asta in defeat. Yuna and Alexa, however, were folding clothes until she heard the loud screams of Asta and then a thump. Yuno sighed. He knew what was going on. He simply muttered under his breath, Idiot. Alexa ran over to see her brother. Asta, I can't believe you. I told you to stop going after Sister Lily, she reaches for him. She let her hand out to help up Asta. Asta does the same, but pulls Alexa in towards him. Why don't you just go after me? Alexa said with no hesitation. Everyone stared at her with a blank stare. Nash, one of the children at the church, pointed at Alexa. Brocon. Everyone nodded in agreement. What? Alexa blushed while Asta just stood there. Can you let go for now? He was totally clueless. Father came outside to talk to her. Well, it's time, everyone. The Grimoire ceremony will begin soon. Juno will have his Grimoire. Oh, and Asta and Alexa as well. Unlike Juno, who was a multi-talented handsome guy, Asta couldn't use magic for some reason. And Alexa couldn't harness her magic either. Juno was the star pupil of Hage Village. Finally, I'll have my Grimoire and be able to use magic. Asta was all fired up. Alexa, however, was worried. What if Asta still couldn't use magic? She knew her brother had trained so much, and occasionally she joined in as well. She knew how much this meant to him. Honestly, they were both pretty ripped, but that may not be enough to get into the Magic Nights. Alexa ran up to her brother, holding his hand. Asta was confused, but it was whatever to him. Come on, Alexa, he says. Let's go get our Grimoires. Sister Lily pointed out that they might want to hurry. Juno had already left them 2 behind. What? Juno, that jerk. Come on, Alexa, let's go. Asta dragged Alexa along. Juno stared back at the twins. You can't be serious. Something was on Juno's mind. Chapter 2. Grimoire Ceremony. Location, Grimoire Tower. Alexa's point of view. These are all Grimoires, I said in excitement. I couldn't help it. They look so cool. So many people were here too. Commoners and those disgusting nobles. They kept staring at me. Asta and Juno. Asta didn't care. He was too focused on the Grimoires. Which one's gonna be mine, he kept on thinking. Juno stared at me and Asta. I wonder why. Why in the world are there peasants here? Look at these disgusting clothes, the blonde noble said. But the girl looks hot. Too bad she looks just like that guy. I guess they're twins, a red noble said. Too bad. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Grimoire Tower. I am this Grimoire Tower's master, The old man looked like an old man from one of the stories that everyone would tell about Mana and Magic Knights.
We've never had a Wizard King from this area, nor anyone who's actually achieved greatness in the Magic Knights. So I'm hoping one of you will become the Wizard King one day. And I'm not joking, I'm serious. Anyway, let the awarding of the Grimoires begin.
As soon as he said his final word, colors began to shine, and a race began around the Grimoire Towers for everyone to collect their own Grimoires. Soon they all came down, all kinds of Grimoires, big ones, small ones, ones with fewer pages, and thicker ones. Asta got on his knees awaiting his Grimoires while the others celebrated getting theirs, until,
hey, my Grimoire hasn't showed up.
Asta wondered, staring at the master at the tower.
Try again next year?
He shrugged. Everyone had began to point at Asta and laugh. Asta couldn't believe it himself. He didn't get a Grimoire? He turned to look at his sister. At least he could celebrate her. Alexa was already staring at Asta in disbelief. He couldn't get his Grimoire, and Asta gasped, realizing his sister didn't get a Grimoire either.
Look, the Grimoire-less twins,
someone yelled out, making everyone laugh harder until a bright light lit the room. It was Yuno's Grimoire.
The four-leaf,
the master said. The master was in awe.
The legendary four-leaf clover, the one used by the first Wizard King.
The light stopped and Yuno himself turned around. I will become Wizard King, he says. And the crowd goes wild. Who would have thought this town would have something so special? The crowd were murmuring to themselves, going crazy over Yuno. Alexa could feel Asta's grip tighten on her hand. It began to get tighter, and it began to hurt. Yuno looked down at the two twins, simply muttering, impossible. After all this time, Asta told himself not to give up. It all led up to this embarrassment. He let go of his sister's hand and ran out of the Grimoire Tower. Asta, Alexa called out and ran after him. Sister Lily was concerned while father didn't mind it too much. Knowing Asta, he's probably gonna get over it quickly, he thought. Everyone just kept on laughing as Asta and Alexa left the building. Their laughs could be heard, even from the outside. Asta stopped running, leaning against a tree, nearly crying.
I don't want to give up, I really don't, but what the hell? What if it's in my nature that the two of us were never supposed to be able to use magic, huh?
During the original bit, he got a bit sad, but knowing that he could still try next year, he cheered himself up. But knowing that his twin sister, someone who had the same blood as him, was unable to get a Grimoire, it was nerve-wracking. Alexa was clearly going to burst into tears. It was rare to see her brother cry. The boy had always yelled and would never give up. Asta, shut up. Listen, you're gonna get your Grimoire, okay? You've worked hard and you've become strong physically, and you want to quit now? I won't let you. No, not yet. She went on and hugged her dear twin brother. Asta stood in there in shock before hugging his sister back. Yeah, not yet. While this was going on, everyone began to leave the Grimoire Tower. Soon, Yuno was confronted by two nobles. We're supposed to be the stars, and then you, some peasant chosen by the four-leaf clover. I'll burn that book into ash along with you, the blonde noble said, opening his grimoire. Yuno raises his hand as the noble shoots a blast of fire at him. Wind began to circle around Yuno, blocking the attack.
Impossible! He didn't even use his grimoire.
The other noble shook the blonde. Come on, man. Let's just go, he said, as a chain came flying at them. Chapter 3. Grimoire. Sorry, but I can't let you burn, that a man said, emerging from the smoke. She won't be able to break free, so don't waste your breath. Yuno was confused, but he knew this man was dangerous from the get-go. Who are you, he says.
Until recently, I was well known as a magic knight called Revchi of chain magic, but I was kicked out, so now I'm just some wretched thief.
Revchi summoned more chains around Yuno and kept him from moving.
And I'll be taking that grimoire.
What? But it's pointless. The only one who can... Yuno was interrupted.
The only one who can use the grimoire is the one who's chose to it. However, the underground collectors are buying grimoires with 4 leaves for insane prices. It may have chosen you, but you've only just received it. You're only a little chick. How unfortunate. Your legend ends before it even begins.
Revchi laughed at Yuno. Fate had worked in his favor for him being here.
Hold it!
Revchi's laughing was ended by Asta's scream. Yuno and Revchi stared at a flying Asta. It was pretty cool to see until he couldn't stop himself from hitting into a wall. Meanwhile, his sister Alexa did a superhero pose in the air. Unlike Asta, she didn't miscalculate the jump, but she still ended up face planting into the ground. Asta landed on Alexa.
Ah, Asta, that hurts. Get off.
Asta got up and soon did Alexa. Asta pointed at the blonde noble.
What do you think you're...
Alexa changed who he was pointing at. It's that guy, Asta. Asta apologized. Sorry.
Anyway, what do you think you're doing, Asta yelled. Give Yuno back his grimoire.
Alexa did as well. Revchi couldn't believe it. These Grimoire-less twins are gonna stop him? She laughed so hard that he could barely talk.
You? You're gonna stop me? You won't even be able to see the wicked outside world. No, you'll just be dead.
Revchi's Grimoire pages then begin to flip.
No! Alexa! Asta! Run!
Yuno cried out.
No way we're running from this jerk!
The siblings ran towards Revchi while his chains were flying at them. Asta ran past him while Alexa got near his face, ready to punch him from both sides. Too bad. Revchi's chains caught them both before they could even make contact.
Not done yet!
Alexa and Asta screamed at him. No, it's over. Revchi's Grimoire then began to flip its pages until finally the two twins were struck by
Dance of the Pythless Viper!
Revchi called out as he struck the twins. One final chain struck Asta, flying him into a wall, and a group of chains wrapped around Alexa and threw her against the same wall as Asta.
Asta!
Alexa, couldn't believe what he just saw. While Revchi approached Asta, placing his foot on his shoulder, Asta began to ramble on.
Not yet. I'm gonna become Wizard King.
Revchi coughed. You? Wizard King? With my change, I can find out how much power one has. You have none. And her, the girl, she barely has much. Unlike your friend over there. He looked back at Yuno. You must have been born this way. Twins unable to receive their grimoires.
Oh, what the hell? Then no matter how hard I try, I won't be able to use magic, Asta thought.
Damn, to think two pathetic losers could exist in the world. You should worry about getting a job, alone becoming the Wizard King. Revchi laughed it off, kicking Asta's shoulder some more.
I was born with no magic, while Yuno was chosen by the great four-leaf clover.
Asta began to close his eyes slowly. You can't do anything in this world. Just give up on everything. You were born a loser.
He's right. I'm sorry, Alexa, but I'm going to get...
As Asta's thoughts were interrupted by Yuno. Yeah, that's true. You won't ever become Wizard King. No matter what. And that's because I'll become Wizard King. He's no loser. He's my rival, Yuno shouted. And that's right, goddammit. Asta's my brother. And he's gonna become the Wizard King, you jackass. Alexa yelled at Revchi. She couldn't stand this. Her brother getting downplayed. Hell no. Alexa bit her lip, forcing herself to stand up. And at the same time, Asta grabbed Revchi's foot.
No, not yet.
Revchi became nervous and moved back. Sorry you had to see me like this, Just a sec. We're gonna kick this guy's butt. As he finished his sentence, the very aura around the two twins changed. Something was in front of them. Grimoires! Asta had a red aura around his, while Alexis had a dark blue aura. I knew it. There's no way these two couldn't have been chosen, smiled. The grimoires opened up. Asta's began to shine bright red. A handle appeared out of his. Soon it fully appeared. A sword. It stuck itself into the ground, awaiting its owner. That one has no magic, so how? What is that grimoire? The three leaves of the globe represent faith, hope, and love. Within the fourth dwells good luck. Within the fifth resides a demon. Towering over Asta and Alexa were two shadowy figures. While Asta looked up and stared at Revchi with a cone-stole face, Alexa's mouth began to smile wider and wider.
What the hell? Who are you?
No magic powers. No wretch like you. Revchi was in a panic. If he hit Asta, he would make his escape with Yuno's grimoire, but bind, Alexa said, causing Revchi to be stuck. He couldn't move due to this black mass forcing him to stay. Asta went and rushed him with his new sword, destroying him with one attack.
Not giving up is my magic, he yelled as he swung his sword down,
hitting Revchi into a wall. He was out for the count, and Yuno was free. Asta turned to Yuno.
Look, I got the grimoire. It's dirty, but I'll take care of it forever.
Asta rejoiced. Yuno walked ahead. Asta, he says, you saved me again. I'll repay you one day. And do you remember our promise?
Yeah, I thought you forgot.
Even if you're just like us, we can prove to the world that we can become great.
Let's see you can become Wizard King.
They fist bumped and smiled at each other. Let's go home, Asta. Yuno was glad he was safe. Yeah, sure. Hey, Alexa! Alexa was bleeding from her crashing into a wall from Revchi on the ground and unconscious. How did these two idiots not notice?
Alexa!
Asta ran over to go pick her up. Let's hurry, Yuno said. Before... Yuno and Asta then raced home. Anyway guys, I think that's going to be the end of this episode and the end of this chapter. If you do enjoy this, tell me what you guys think in the comments. What do you think is going to happen in the next episode? What do you think's up with Alexa's Grimoire? And how does she have the ability to just say bind and bind someone? Do you think she also has a 5-leaf clover like Asta? Leave your opinions down in the comments. And what do you think about the guy saying that she has a little bit of mana, but Asta has none at all? Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Like I said in all of my videos, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun jazz. See you in the next one. Peace. Yo, what's good everybody? It's me, Bigger G Taco, back for the video. Today I'm bringing you guys What If Asta Had a Sister episode 2. This will be covering chapters 3 till 6. Chapters 3 till 6. This is from one of my favorite Wattpad and fanfiction.net fanfics. This is from Words Hurt, and I've actually been catching up with the Black Clover manga itself, and it seems like we might get a little bit more information on Asta's family sooner, because Asta's mother has been shown. She hasn't been explained, and she hasn't been dove into deeply. I think that the mangaka is saving that for later chapters of Black Clover, but we're going to be seeing Asta's family soon, which gets me really excited because the prospect of Asta having a family is really interesting. Anyway, I don't want to hold you guys up for too long. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this, and I'm sorry for the entire thing that happened with the first episode. I'll make sure it doesn't happen here. I won't even use Black Clover OSTs or the Black Clover soundtrack. At most, I'm going to be using some of the Black Clover intro music and some uncopyrighted songs that I can put in there easily. I'm sorry for the entire debacle with the last episode, and I hope you guys forgive me. I'll see you in the future. By the way, this is editing Gucci. If I sound weird, it's because I'm coming off of an illness. Guys, remember I was ill for like a week, so I'm coming off of that, and my voice is a little After their first battle with Revchi of Chain Magic, the ex-Magic Knight, Alexa was unconscious, but thanks to her brother Asta, she was okay. And Hage Village's star. She was in bed, peacefully sleeping, though it seemed that someone had woken her up. We're now gonna go to Alexa's point of view. Wow, that sleep felt different from the others. I feel super refreshed. I rubbed my eyes to see a figure in front of me. It was Sister Lily, along with standing on the side. Sighed as I had awakened him, but Sister Lily was crying and hugged me immediately. Alexa, she cried out my name. Don't scare us like that. You almost killed me. Scared, I begin to remember what happened at the Grimoire Tower. Oh, when Asta brought me back here, and I was bleeding. She says, when Asta brought you back here, Sister Lily says, and you were bleeding, but you were unconscious. I thought you were gonna die. Don't worry, I'm fine, she then rebuttals with. Also, I make Sister Lily let go and stand. Thanks for bringing me back. I gave him a big fat hug, which he did not expect. Yeah, no problem, he says. Now I owe Asta. Can you get off me now? Was acting weird. He was blushing a bit too. How strange. Sure. Also, where's Asta? I questioned them. He's in the woods training with his grimoire. I still can't believe he got one. He came screaming about it after he brought you back. Something clicked in my head. Oh yeah. Where's my grimoire? I have to train with Asta. The Magic Knight's exam is in 6 months. Tapped it against my head. Here, Alexa, he says. Thanks, I'm gonna go out and train with my grimoire. I can't believe I got one too. I rejoiced. Alright, but be careful. Sister Lily began to put away my sheets. Yeah, and I say, you should be training too. I don't care if you've got a 4-leaf clover. My brother is super awesome, and he'll become the Wizard King first. I point at Hage's star. And when that happens, I'll make sure I do what's needed for him. I'll make sure they won't mock him when he becomes Wizard King. I'll become a Magic Knight's captain and make him proud. Impossible. Giggled at my speech. Sorry, but you'll be having to serve me when I become the Wizard King. He moved some of my bed hair out of my face. I blushed a bit. We'll see, handsome jerk. I leave the room. Hopefully I'll be able to experiment on what I have right now. I made it to the forest. Alright, I have to evaluate what I can do with my grimoire. Unlike my brother, he got a whole freaking sword. That's so cool. I opened my grimoire, flipping through the pages. What are these spells? Do I even call them spells? They're just like a bunch of different words on a page. I guess I have to find out what some of them can do. I see some sticks falling from a tree a couple of feet away from me, pretty close by. Come here! A stick rushed over, flying and hitting my head. That's what I can do? Well, how can I make it stop? The stick didn't hurt at all. I gotta focus with this. Come here! Another stick came flying from a tree, but it stopped at my foot on the ground. Actually, that was stupid. Maybe I can try it on non-moving objects, like a log. I laughed at my stupidity. Finally, I got some logs. Yuno helped me collect them for my training. Alright. Now, come here! As I yelled, the logs came rushing at me, but it stopped. Yes! Victory for me. But I'm not done. Let's see what else I can do. Get back! The log flew back, hitting a tree. Holy crap! My magic is super awesome. But I don't have any attacks. I hope I get some soon. What's this? I say as I look at my grimoire. Wither! I say that, and nothing happens to the log immediately. Soon, the log began to turn a dark color, and then into ash. It's not a very useful magic for an attack. Just for plant stuff, huh? And I don't have a big mana pool like Yuno. One log is the best I can do for now. Soon, months pass, with the 3 orphans getting stronger and stronger for the Magic Knight's exams. During month 4 specifically, Alexa finally made some big improvements. She was outside at a normal training spot out in the woods. Yes! Oh my god, I can't believe it! Finally an attack spell! Iron Spear! Alexa launched at a tree, causing it to break. Yes! An attack spell after 4 months. All my hard work. But I'm not done. Wither! Instead of just a log, the entire tree began to die out. My range for words are getting better and better. Vanish specifically is a great spell to use, but against nobles with stronger attacks than me, I won't be able to destroy their entire spell. Vanish allows Alexa to destroy any spell that comes against her, but not ones that are stronger than that spell of Vanish itself. She says, nobles. Wither! Out of being annoyed, she killed another tree. Alexa then went back to the church, seeing Asta and Yuno once again. They look dirty. Racing again, she says. Alexa then puts her arms around the two. Yeah, I gotta build up my speed for when we travel to the exam, and because I won't lose to Yuno, Asta yelled. Yeah, right. I won and you know it. Yuno was being as cocky as ever, but it was reasonable. It seemed that right now Yuno is stronger than me and Asta, but hopefully not for long. Soon, 2 months flew by just like that. Are you guys ready? Because I'm gonna leave without you, Yuno said, standing outside of the church with Father and the rest. Oh, Yuno! Father was blowing his nose. We'll miss you so much. I can't believe you're really going to become a magic knight. Father hugged him. Oh, Asta and Alexa, tell us when you get back. The 2 twins ran outside, and as soon as they did, they tripped. Father doesn't believe in us, Asta, Alexa said. Then we'll prove him wrong, Asta said as he got up. And Nash, remember what you promised. Nash looked at Asta, only giving him a fist bump. Alright, our journey to become the Wizard King starts here, Yuno. Yeah, and I'll gladly make you my personal butler when I become Wizard King. Yuno made a sly little comment as Asta screeched while everyone else laughed. Asta, you'll become Wizard King, and I'll become the best Magic Knight captain ever. Asta was surprised, but he was glad that his sister had a goal in mind. Yeah, that's the spirit, sis. Asta fist pumped her as well. Bye. Asta and Yuno waved back. You guys are gonna make us all miss you and stuff. I'm out of here. First one out from the hill becomes Wizard King. Alexa raced out of there. Yuno turned and made an immediate sprint for it. See ya, Asta. Asta was baffled. No way! I'm gonna get there first. Asta soon made a dash for it, trying to catch up with the two. Chapter 4. Magic Knights Entrance Exams. Part 1. Alexa's point of view. These guys just don't want to catch a break. She stared at Asta and Yuno running neck and neck with each other. The two were covered in sweat due to how long they've been racing and hunting animals along the way. I sighed to myself, how am I going to deal with this the rest of the way? Asta, Yuno, please slow down. I have to catch up to you guys every time you run off. Sorry, Alexa, but I can't lose to Asta. I never will. Yuno was stubborn, but not in the way Asta was. He was cool. Yeah, No way! I can definitely beat you, no problem. I'll win the next race. My brother was shouting as always, but that was fine with me. Come here, Asta. Just take a seat on this boulder, sit next to me. I pat down the space that was next to me. But my race! I had enough. I flipped through my grimoire. Thankful he's not out of my radius. Come here! Asta flew away from Yuno into my arms. But you... I shush Asta. It's okay. Yuno stared at me for a moment. Procon. You know what? He needs to stop calling me that. Asta was sitting in my arms, sleeping already. I guess I win, Asta. Yuno smiled at his victory over his rival. Third person point of view. Moving on from that, the Hage gang finally arrived and made it to the royal capital. Whoa, the three said, looking around. Yuno mostly stared at the place where the exam was going to be held. Asta stared at the food places that he could try and taste. They were all so exotic. Alexa stared at potential dangers to her brother. Let's go. We don't want to be late, Yuno said. Let's not waste any more time. All right, the twins shouted together. Everyone stands, and they were loud and proud. Good luck. Let's make each other proud. Asta waves at them, and Yuno acted like he never met these guys in his life. Alexa held her brother's hand until, You're 163. Alright, next. The man behind the counter said. Yuno pulled out his grimoire, showing it to the man. I'm Yuno from Hage Village. Oh, a 4-leaf clover. The man was surprised. You're number 164. Good luck to you, kid. Next, I'm Asta from Hage Village, and this is my grimoire. Asta shoves his grimoire in this man's face. This thing's pretty dirty. Are you sure it's a grimoire? He questioned the rather old-looking book. It is. See? See? Asta put it closer before the man's side. Alright, here. You're number 165. Next, Alexa walks up to the man, showing him her grimoire. This one too? Jeez, you're number 166. Peasants, man. Alexa stared at the man in disgust before leaving. Bah! She's from the boonies, but she doesn't look half bad. The mysterious, totally charming man winked. Soon before the exam was, she's from the boonies, but she doesn't look half bad. A mysterious, totally charming man winked at Alexa. Soon, the exam space was being filled. Some people turned, seeing Yuno's face. Like it's the guy with the 4-leaf, one said. This dude is drawing in the ladies and keeping it out all the anti-birds, another said. Yuno, our journey for the title of Wizard King truly begins now. Ow! Asta said as anti-birds flocked around him, so no one could take him seriously. He began being laughed at. Alexa has some around her of her own, but it wasn't as bad as Asta. Yuno saved me, Alexa called out to the handsome jerk. She hugged his arm, trying to make the angry birds go away, and they did. Yuno began to blush a bit. Alexa, Yuno looked down at her. My what? Is something on me? Did those birds poop on me? She let go, twisting and turning, trying to find any mark. Meanwhile, Asta got all the anti-birds to go away. His reward? A really buff, tall, imitating man was standing in front of him, saying that he'll kill him. Asta screamed, getting picked up by the guy. Everyone seemed to be scared of him. Isn't that the god of destruction, Yami Siguro? Soon people began to talk. Yami, the captain of the Black Bulls? Alexa watched on her as her brother struggled to get out of Yami's grasp. Asta, she screamed, get away from my brother. Yami ignored her, ready to kill Asta. Captain Yami, the exams are about to start. A member of the Black Bulls told this to their captain, luckily saving Asta's behind. You'll get to live another day. You're lucky. Yami puffed smoke out of his mouth and walked away with his members. Must have been having a rough day to deal with Captain Yami. By the way, my name's Seke. Seke Bronza. Nice to meet you. Seke then walked up behind Asta just like in canon, trying to befriend him. Asta is getting a new friend. Of course, because he's so cool. Alexa was proud of her twin, looking on as Asta talked to Seke. Seke then began to explain who the Magic Knight captains were. Alexa looked upon the 2 Royal Magic Knight captains. Status. We now switch to Yuno's point of view. There he was, the man who was closest to the Wizard King, William Vengeance, the captain of the Golden Dawn. My training all these months, pushing myself along with the 4-leaf clover, I should be able to get into the Golden Dawn. Failure is not a chance. I turned my head looking towards Asta and Alexa. I can't help but worry for them, especially Asta, my rival. We switch back to the third person. William Vengeance is the one conducting the test. Magic tree descend. He called out as his grimoire flashed and the sky dimmed, and something was approaching him. Roots from the magic tree came down, giving each examinee a broom. Us, Magic Knight captains, will evaluate your performance, and then select the candidates we would like to add to our squads. If chosen, you will join that squad. If chosen by more than one, You have the choice of picking which squad you want to join for yourself. If you don't get picked, you are not qualified to become a Magic Knight, William explained. Now, the first exam test is to test your ability to fly a broom. Mages should be able to do this instinctively. If you can't even fly a broom, you shouldn't be here. Alright, now begin. Chapter 3, Magic Knight Exams, Part 2, Third Person Point of View. Alright, now begin, William said. Soon, people began to lift off on their brooms, some having trouble staying on the broom while others began to lift themselves up naturally. One person in particular went around standing on his broom like he was a pro or something. That kid from the boonies is really something. Juno's performance was outclassing everyone. Meanwhile, Asta was screaming, trying to float, but it didn't work. Of course, because he had no magic. Come on, Asta, loosen up. Seke was trying to give him some advice. So Alexa was having troubles of her own. Her broom would float off the ground, but she couldn't move in any direction besides up or down. Juno made it look easy to her. Ah, Juno, no fair, she called out. Juno stared down at her, not saying anything, pretending like he didn't even know her. Soon, the other exams then started. The Magic Ability Exam, the Magic Ability Control Exam, the Magic Creation Exam, and the Magic Development Exam. Soon after that, the final exam was about to begin. I didn't think that getting into the Magic Knights would be this hard. I couldn't even do the Magical Ability Exam or the Magic Creation Exam. I screamed. I just screamed there like my brother. But he was doing even worse. I'm worried. What if he doesn't make it? What if I don't make it either? Alexa worried about herself and her twin. Yet again, they were failing fast. Just like at the Magic Knights exams. Juno walked up to Alexa, holding her hand. You'll be fine, he said. You really think so? Alexa looked up at him, seeing his smile. He really believed in her. Yeah, I'll be fine. You'll be fine. Thanks, Juno. Alexa turned to see the captain's faces again. Juno stared back at Alexa's head. She got bigger. Juno began to remember himself, Alexa, and Asta when they used to live back at the church. Unlike Asta, Alexa had always given up. She always did things once or twice and didn't try again. She was always a crybaby until she saw her brother face off against a man who would try to steal Juno's pendant. It was scary for them, and her Asta was always badly injured, but he didn't give up. Soon, she was motivated by him. Alexa wanted to be just like him and do everything together with him. She was always upset when she couldn't participate or be like her twin brother. He was her star, her light. Alexa wanted to protect Asta. You've grown quite a bit, Juno whispered to himself. While we talked to that captain had explained that this part of the exam was going to be about using magic against an opponent. Alexa's point of view. Actually, using over grimoires to do battle sounds like something I could pull off. But what about... She looked over to see Seke talking to Asta. Ah, they're gonna have to battle. Awesome. Seke seems cool. I'm glad someone was willing to fight Asta. Asta and Seke stood up in the middle of the hundreds of examinees. Seke looked like he had whispered something into my brother's ear. I wondered what that was about. Begin, the referee said. No holding back, alright? Let's do this, Asta. Seke's grimoire then began to flip through the pages. Then something materialized around him. Bronze creation magic. Seke Magnum Cannonball. There's no need to hold back, Asta. Come at me. Asta stood there with his grimoire glowing. Something was coming out, and I know exactly what it was. That sword. Anytime I saw my brother's sword, I'm just amazed. That thing looks massive. Sure thing, Asta broke the ground before leaping towards Seke, breaking his cannonball, and destroying the ground beneath Seke itself. I'm not here to join the Magic Knights to take it easy. I'm gonna work my ass off and become the Wizard King. My brother is so cool. Juno just smiled and stared at Asta's victory. Soon, many other battles happened until Juno was up against noble trash. Do it, Juno, I yelled out from the crowd. He called out his move. Salim, Salman, seemingly didn't care about him. Juno flipped through his grimoire, summoning a tornado, causing his opponent to fall to his defeat. Juno defeated a noble with ease, and I was super impressed, because I want to beat the hell out of him. I could feel someone tapping my shoulder. It was a noble girl. Listen, peasant, I'm gonna fight you and get into the Silver Eagles, okay? You got it? Good. Wow, did she really just... Okay, I'm definitely gonna hurt her. Also, by the way, when I send you home, you can take you and your obnoxious twin out of her. the girl commented, staring at Asta. She looks strong, but oh no, I think some healing mages need to get here fast, but not from me. Me and the girl take our places. By the way, my name is Mary Wisteria, and you'll be the next weed I take out. She bowed before using her magic. Plant magic, Wisteria Garden. These flowers are beautiful. Too bad they have to die. Oh, I flipped through my grimoire, getting ready. Show me that flimsy grimoire's power. Mary laughed. I simply say, wither. The plants below seem to die, to everyone's surprise, besides and Asta. What the hell? How? That face, that look on her face, that panic. I enjoyed it so much. The smile on my face began to grow a bit. I can't actually kill her, so instead, I'll just be like my dear brother. Come here. Mary was moved from her position. How am I? Damn you! Plant magic! Akima thorns! Flowers began to grow out the ground. They weren't too quick though. They made their way to my sides. Really? Resorting to this? Okay. Iron Spear. Instead of launching it, I grab it by its handle, smashing it down onto Mary's head, causing her to fall onto the ground. You'll need a mage to heal you now. Held my hand as we walked over to her. A third-person point of view. The afternoon arrived and many candidates weren't being chosen to join the Magic Knight squads. Soon, it was Yuno's turn and everyone raised their hand. What? No way, someone said. All 9 magic captains raises their hand? Yuno stepped forward. I'd like to join the Golden Dawn, he says. William has succeeded in getting Yuno on his squad, just like in canon. Next up is Asta. Alexa covered her eyes. She wanted to see a hand raised, but she just couldn't look. No hands. Asta stood there silent. Some others began to tell him to move on before being shut up by the captain of the Black Bulls, Yami. His magic pressure silenced everyone. Juno wasn't scared, and Alexa was caught off guard by the power of a Magic Knight captain. No one wants you, get it? It seems like you can't control your magic, and the source of your power is unknown. Let's say you did join a Magic Knight squad. You really think you could surpass all of us magic captains? Now that I'm in your face, can you still say that you'll become Wizard King? Asta was trembling beneath Yami's magic presence, but even if I can't join the Magic Knights now, or in 1 or 2 years, I will become Wizard King. Yami puffed some smoke out from his cigarette. Ha! I like you. You'll be in the Black Bulls. Everyone was shocked. I made it in, Asta yelled. He was surprised, but he was happy. Yes. Wait a minute. Aren't I next? Alexa questioned, looking up. Oh, damn. She steps forward, closing her eyes. 3 hands. Nani? She thought that, opening her eyes. The Black Bulls, the Coral Peacocks, and the Silver Eagles. No way. Another peasant got the Silver Eagles to raise their hand, one said. How was this possible, another said. Alexa had to make her choice now. Yami, captain of the Black Bulls, and he has Asta. But if Asta were to become the Wizard King, many nobles would reject Asta because he's a peasant. The Black Bulls have different people from what I heard during these exams. They're crazy. They would make peasants look out of control. So, it's between the Coral Peacocks and the Silver Eagles. Anyway guys, that's where we're going to be ending this episode. If you guys want to see the rest of the story, you already know what to do. Get down there in the comments, theorize. Who do you think, which squad do you think that Alexa is going to join? The Silver Eagles or the Coral Peacocks? Because she thinks that since Asta is already part of the Black Bulls, having too many peasants on it will make them look out of control. What do you think is going on with her? What is going on with her abilities? Do you think they're good abilities? Do you like the powers that she has so far? And how do you think her Grimoire is going to evolve into the future? Anyway guys, like I said at the end of all my videos, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun jazz, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Today, I'm bringing you guys the well-long-awaited What If Asta Had a Sister, Episode 3. In this, I'm going to be changing up the formula extremely differently. At first, this was an AU reading, something that I found on, online, fanfiction.net, Wattpad, and I started researching and really wanted to bring this kind of content to my channel. So I just read the AU. But now I'm thinking of changing a little bit, because, I want to change bits of the stories that I feel like would make this story a better experience. So I've decided to twist this EU and add my own Big Uchi Taco flair to it, adding some bits of information, writing, and even changing key bits of the plot, such as Alexa, Asta's sister, her squad. Alexa, in the original fan fiction that this series is now going to be based off of, joined the Silver Eagles, but due to fan reaction and fans wanting me to change it over to the Black Bulls, I decided to put Alexa on the same squad as her older brother, barely by anything really, but her older brother nonetheless, Asta's squad. So the big question and the cliffhanger from the last episode that was recorded, I think over a month ago now, is that Alexa joins the Black Bulls. From there on, I think we're gonna pick up the story, but before that, I have to roll my intro. Alexa looks up at the Magic Knight squad captains as she decides which squad she would join. At first, she thought the Black Bulls wasn't going to be an option because she wanted to help her brother in another way, some way that could help him be pushed all the way to the top without her having to be by his side, because she knows 2 peasants on that kind of squad would not look good. At first, she decides to go with the Noble squad, but on second thought and closer inspection, she decides to pair up with her twin brother Asta and joins the Black Bulls. This kind of shocks Yuno, as he thought for sure that Alexa would never pass up the chance to go bigger and better and join the Silver Eagles. But that kind of made Yuno question everything. Should he have joined the same squad as them? How would it feel like to be separated from Alexa and Asta, basically his brother and sister, the people he grew up with? What's going to happen to him, he thought. But those selfish thoughts could not take up all of Yuno's mind. He got over it quickly and rushed over to Alexa to congratulate her. She, Asta, and Alexa all just enjoyed their time together. This few little minutes that they would have until Yuno would be separated was used to say their goodbyes, as the Black Bulls captain marched up to Asta to have a few words with him. Just like in canon, we have this similar kind of interaction with Asta kind of getting bullied by Yami. Alexa would step in trying to stop Yami from doing this to her brother, but Yami just simply looked at Alexa as a non-threat, shrugged her to the side, and kept on going on after Asta. After everything, the exams would end, and the two would walk out together, saying goodbye to Yuno for the final time until they would meet again. When they get to the Black Bulls base, we have a similar interaction as in canon, however with Alexa being tagged on, kinda as a third wheel to Asta, Noel, and the Batman. We all know that Asta is going to be flaring around there like he has no business, while Alexa's just watching, trying to keep her brother on the right track, but also participating because they are twins after all. They're kind of the same people, just with different genders. So Alexa goes ahead and participates in everything that goes wrong with Asta and Magna. However, she's just on the sideline watching. She doesn't really get into it until Asta is now threatened by Magna's incredible swing. As we all know in canon, Magna uses one of his best attacks against Asta, and Asta would deflect that attack right back to the sender. But with Alexa there, she would never let anything even close to harming her brother come in front of him. She used her ability and screamed, "Return to sender." Just then, the fireball that was descending towards Asta suddenly propelled back towards Magna. That's when she realized she didn't even mean to do that. You see, instead of Asta finding out something new about his sword, which is the fact that it can deflect and refract magic attacks, we find out a new power of Alexa's. The powers that she has are starting to become more clear now. Yami looks at her and he's seen something like this before. He's seen something similar. He yells out, "Vocal magic?" It's such a rare and unique ability. It's not seen often in the Black Clover universe. For example, if we look towards that one demon that, is sleeping, waiting for us all to get towards it, we all know who I'm talking about, right? That one demon who is using vocal magic. He uses anything he really says, it can happen, because that's his magic. That's the 5-leaf comber, that's his magic. And somehow, Alexa has something similar to this or maybe even this power. She doesn't know what to do as Yami kind of freaks out over her. However, he doesn't do it in the typical way like, oh my god, you have good magic. He does it in the Yami way. He walks up to her saying, "Good stuff, kid. I can't wait to see you get in battle so you can unlock your potential. What you'll become once you're pushed to the brink of death." Yeah, Yami is a bit of a sadistic asshole in this what if. I mean, he always is, but a little bit more now that there's two Astas around to bug him. Asta's daily life is pretty much the same. We now get Asta being introduced to Noelle, kinda like in canon, but with Alexa tagging along. Alexa and Noelle actually don't get along well. You see, Alexa does not have the fondness for nobles, so when she sees Noelle acting like, Noelle, she gets really annoyed. These two have kind of a rivalry of sorts. She really dislikes Noelle and her attitude, and her prissy royal family style. But Asta is oblivious to all of this, as Noelle and Alexa get into a little girl scat, with Alexa being the one to throw the first punch verbally, saying, "It's all the same with you nobles, royal family or not. You're all a bunch of prissy, better than thou having attitude people." Noelle rebuttals Alexa, saying, "Mind how you're talking to me, peasant." She then screws her nose up in Alexa's face and turns around, flaring her hair back. It hits Alexa in the face. Alexa is now boiling hot with rage. Asta sees this and gets right in between them before anything could happen. As Asta gets Alexa to calm down, they all meet their squad mates and a new day approaches the horizon. Now this day would bring Alexa and Asta's first ever mission. Just like in canon, they'd be put on this mission with Magna. However, Alexa would tag along with Asta and Noelle, so instead of this being a 3-man group, it's a 4-man group. They arrive in Hage Village just like in canon after Yami lost a bet to one of the village elders. Now they have to go out hunting boars. Asta and Alexa see this as a time for them to train both their magic and better use of their grimoires. Noelle, however, sees this as a waste of time and something that a noble shouldn't have to stoop so low to do. Magna sees this as a babysitting job for him to babysit 3 newcomers to the squad. But before they reach Sochi, they have to get on a broom and fly there. However, Alexa doesn't have enough broom control to carry both her and Asta, so Asta and Noelle get stuck onto Magna's broom, just like in canon, with Alexa following not far behind with her broom. However, she still doesn't have that great mana control, so she's kinda just flying about loosely and almost falls off her broom multiple times. When they reach the Hage Village forest, they begin their training. Asta, of course, would handle the boars just like in canon, with Alexa trying to use her new powers and abilities, getting a grasp of her spells, and flipping through the pages of a grimoire to read up about anything she could do about her magic. That's when she notices Noelle. Just like in canon, Noelle doesn't have a good grasp of her magic and uses Asta as a practice facility. She and Asta would train together, and Alexa kinda didn't like the look of this. Cough cough. Jealous someone? Noelle getting the attention of Asta kinda pissed off Alexa, who would walk over there in a fit of rage, grabbing Asta and pulling him back towards the boars. So we're gonna skip past all of that and get towards the battle in Hage Village. Of course, members associated with the elves and everything that was going on attacked Hage Village. Asta and Alexa will put up a good fight, including Noelle. Her sporadic magic wasn't helping that much, however. She still unlocks potent ice abilities with her sporadic magic. Magna would be the main one leading the attack, just like in canon. However, Asta was providing a good support. With Alexa along, they were doing pretty well, unlike in canon where they were in the back heels the entire battle. They actually put up a really decent fight towards these mercenaries or soldiers or wherever the hell they were. So Asta, Alexa, Noelle, and Magna go on fighting, doing their best to push these guys to the brink of defeat. But unfortunately, the leader of this group of guys would be the one to put up the best fight, putting Magna in critical condition, making Asta the one to step up. Asta steps up, ready for battle. Right behind him, standing next to his right hand, was Alexa. She wasn't gonna let her brother fight if she wasn't fighting. Noelle was just there awkwardly, kinda on Asta's left side, kinda not. She really wished she was standing on the right side of Asta, but settles with the left and stands behind him in, that prissy Noel stance. So the fight begins. Asta would of course barrel towards this villain, while Alexa would stand behind him providing support, getting rid of all of the villain's subordinates easily. Noel would sporadically use her magic to defend all of the random citizens scattered across the village from these subordinates' attacks, while Asta and the head guy would come towards a 1v1 head-to-head battle. Alexa would try to escape from the subordinates who were now surrounding her, getting ready to hit her with a brunt attack, when Noel would come in and save her last second. I guess these girls were kinda cooler now than they were before. However, they had a newfound focus. Alexa said to Noel, "We can't talk right now, let's get to Asta." And Asta and Noel and Alexa were now up against the main head of this villain, mercenary, whatever the hell they were, group. They put up a really good fight. Asta with his anti-magic sword would deflect most of these villains' attacks, and that's where he found out that he can refract and refract attacks back to people who are using magic projectiles. He wouldn't figure it out with the Magna bottle. He would figure that out right here. Alexa would use her power of Wither to turn the ice that was flying towards her from this villain into simple water attacks, which flopped on the faces of anybody who hit them. They were not strong at all, losing all their icy potency. Asta would look at Alexa kinda like, "You're OP as hell" in his mind. However, he didn't say it out loud and he refocused on the battle. Noel would go back to protecting the citizens in Magna, as Alexa and Asta told her to scram to protect the citizens, because you never know which subordinates could sneak up behind them and try to get the best of them. As soon as they said that, the real battle continued to rage on. Alexa, Asta versus main villain guy. However, this main villain guy was not going down without a fight. He put up the best fight he possibly could against these two, both super athletic. Because remember guys, Alexa would train alongside Asta whenever he was doing physical training. Not as much training as Asta, but pretty close. So she was kinda really fast and really strong. Not on Asta's level quite, but pretty close. So she would be able to keep up with Asta's clean, fast attacks. Asta would get behind this main villain, with Alexa standing in front ready to punch him in the gut. And with a duo twin attack, Asta slices up, hitting this man in the back, his spine, cracking it open, and Alexa would punch this man right underneath his stomach and his liver, causing him to spit up blood. This was a brutal attack, leaving this man completely stunned. His magic, we're not even gonna talk about that. His magic attack that he was preparing to hit them both with flopped on the ground as he got KO'd. Magna would wake up sitting next to Noel just to see all of this happen in real time. Waking up from your unconscious state to see these both physical monsters sprint towards their enemy and hit him with a devastating attack like that, Magna was stunned to say the least. He looked up at Asta and Alexa as they finished their attack and returned back to their regular combat stances as the villain fell on the ground and thought, "These guys, they're the next monsters to bless the world." As Asta picked up his massive hulking sword and sat it on his shoulder, smiling up towards Alexa, Alexa would blow her hair out of her face, standing up, walking over towards Asta. And they freaked out. I mean, they've never done an attack like that. They were freaking out. They were, you know how Asta is already, so you can imagine the both of them. They were kind of fanboying out over each other's attacks, talking about how cool Asta's sword is, and talking about how cool Alexa's vocal magic is. They were just Asta and Alexa. Noelle looked on at the both of them, screaming, "Idiots! Get back over here!" She sighed, looking at Magna, as Magna looked up at them, smiling. Just like in canon, everything else goes like, in canon with Sochi Village. We of course have to celebrate Gramps passing, R.I.P. my man, and everything like that. We get back towards the Black Bull's hideout, and Alexa and Asta are still fanboying over each other. They talk to Yami, as Yami is kinda getting annoyed at this point, but inside he smiles, knowing that these two have a whole bunch of potential just waiting to be tapped. We fade out as we await the next episode of What If Asta had a twin sister. Anyway guys, that's gonna be the end of this video and the end of this episode of What If Asta Had a Twin Sister. I'm sorry that it seems kind of short and it seems like it's ending kind of abruptly. For this, it's gonna be like a kind of mid-season ending, kinda. I don't really know how to explain it. Just know that we will be back very soon. I will never ever leave you guys for a month waiting for another part of this, because I know how much you guys love it. Hell, if this video right here gets 100 likes, I will drop the next part ASAP. And in the next part, we're gonna be seeing Asta and Alexa go down into a dungeon where they're gonna have to fight against Mars and finally meet Yuno again after being separated after the Magic Knight's entrance exam. That episode's gonna have a lot of cool little bits of information and some Asta, Alexa, and Yuno trio again. Can't wait to see Yuno again. And I know you guys can't wait for Alexa and Yuno to talk after what happened in the Magic Knight's entrance exams. Let me guys know if you guys like this new style or if you guys want me to return back to the original AU. There's kind of two alternate timelines. One where Alexa joins the Black Bulls and one where Alexa joins the Silver Eagles. The Silver Eagles one is the original canon and the Black Bulls one is my version of the story. Let me guys know if you guys like my version of the story where Alexa joins the Black Bulls, or if you guys want to see Alexa on the Silver Eagles, because I can make another series of this. I don't mind doing a what if Alexa joined the Silver Eagles. Don't mind doing that where I can just read the AU. I don't really mind it. Just let me know, you guys. And if you guys have any ideas for where I need to go with the story, because I'm kind of just winging it now. I'm writing this originally. It's all me now. So let me know. What do you guys think? Theories, ideas, and I can't wait to talk to you guys down there in the comment section, as I always love reading you guys' comments. Anyway, like I say at the end of all my videos, like and subscribe, all that fun jazz. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Stay safe out there, guys.